Joining us now in the studio is Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who is the lawyer of separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you for joining us, Ifeanyi.
Thank you so much for having me on your program.
Good to see. Okay, looks like the people have since been tired of the sit-at-home order. But yet again, IPOB is saying it's not ready to disband its militant arm, ESN. What exactly do they really want?
Well, the issue of the development of ESN, I may not be able to comment on it because they have a spokesperson that will probably entertain such.
More powerful.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then.
So
in that case,
I may have to limit myself to the level, to the compliance with directions given by Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah, but with the look of things, what we're seeing in the states covered, looks like they have been tired of it already, and that the governors and the local security agencies are cooperating with them.
No, let me just emphasize this. The sit-at-home is there today because of his handwritten notes, which was made public few weeks back. Before now, people has been deceived by misinformation, deliberate falsehood being pushed around by someone who sits in comfort of his room from Finland to be deceiving our people. Of course, now they can never sanction sit-at-home from inception. And that position was made known to the world by the Global Peaceful Movement, which IPOB represents it. So, but because of the criminal elements, active criminal elements in the Southeast, which did not receive enough attention by security agents. So, and IPOB has severally denounced those people who have no affiliation whatsoever with Nnamdi Kanu, and now they're not working with him, they're not working for him, they're not actually pushing for his release. They're there executing their own criminal agenda. So, but with this handwritten note, which was made public few weeks back, people became convinced that now it has come to the end of this rascality and criminality. So that will tell you, that simply means that if Nnamdi Kanu will issue a handwritten note ordering total cancellation of sit-at-home in the entire Southeast, from solidly confirming where he's been detained at the DSS consulate today, that means if he has been released in line with the judgment of the Court of Appeal, there will be total peace in the Southeast. And of course, you are aware that flyers are being distributed across the Southeast today, and people are being encouraged to come out and also go about their normal businesses, which is apparent from what I've just seen now. So the sit-at-home is dead and buried in the entire Southeast.
I mean, that's you quoting Nnamdi Kanu, who actually made that statement a few days ago, that the sit-at-home in the Southeast is dead and buried. Now that there seems to be progress being made in that direction, what is the next line of action now to get Nnamdi Kanu released? I mean, you just mentioned that look, what confidence really are you giving the federal government that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, that peace indeed will return to the Southeast?
Okay, let me just kind of make a clarification from scenario playing out now. Nnamdi Kanu issued an order from DSS dungeon where he's being detained, and that order is being obeyed in the entire Southeast today. That tells you simply that whosoever is frustrating, preventing his release, or who is refusing him to be released in line with the law of court, are those who are encouraging this rascality, criminality, and violence going on in the entire Southeast. Because our people likes him and they listen to him. So if he's out now today, that will bring the total peace to the entire Southeast. And we're not asking for much. What we're asking the federal government to do is just simply to obey the judgment of the Court of Appeal. That's all. That's all, because it has been discharged by the judgment of the Court of Appeal delivered on the 13th of October 2022. Then they appeal against that judgment, which is now coming up for hearing on September 14th. So today there is no order of court legitimizing his continued detention in the custody of the SDSS. So we are going back to Supreme Court on 14th of September. What we are asking the federal government to do, in simple wisdom, obey the judgment of the court of Court of Appeal, their own court. That's all.
Okay.
And,
Right.
and what is playing out now has shown that if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, because our people loves him,
Right.
then that will bring the total peace of the Southeast.
In that case, recall that it's not this current administration that detained him. If you're saying the federal government should obey the court order, that's an order. But then, what briefing have you had with the current?
It's continuum.
I know that. Just hold on. I know that. But then, but some would say that you need the current administration. You need to give the current administration some time to settle in and then get proper briefing. Have you had a round table with the current administration?
But let me just say this. You see, we are talking about respect to rule of law and order of court.
Yeah.
We have gone beyond certain stage now. We are at the stage where the Court of Appeal, Court of Intermediate Jurisdiction, has made a pronouncement. It's not an order, it's a judgment of the Court of Appeal. So the government must respect that order. Now, as it stands today, there is no charge today pending against him in any court in Nigeria. And that judgment said, do not charge him before any court. He cannot be charged before any court on any offense, any indictment whatsoever. Release him unconditionally. That's what the judgment of the Court of Appeal says. It's not my own judgment. It's the Court of Appeal that wrote it. And it's a unanimous judgment. So, are you telling me that you're going to set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal and go into a roundtable discussion with the federal government? What are asking the government to do is to obey their own court order and court judgment. That's all. So, I've gone beyond this because there's no charge against him today.
Right. Okay. Apparently, there's been the issue of access to Nnamdi Kanu's, his physicians, gaining access and checking out his health status and all of that. Tell us about that. Has he, the doctors, have they been granted access to Nnamdi Kanu now? What exactly is his state of health?
You're aware that it's a matter of common knowledge on 20th of July. That was last month. Court delivered a landmark judgment. Honorable Justice Binta Nyako directing the SSS to allow him access to his medical doctors and also avail him of medical records. So in this case, the court said he will visit his medical doctors outside the facility of the SSS and also have interface and parallel medical examination. They've substantially comply because at least as it stands today, he has had access to one of the doctors recommended by him by his wife. So remaining the second person, which I believe in the next couple of days, he will also have access to the second person. So we also await about the SSS. They are yet to avail him of the medical records, which the court directed him to give to him. So we believe that within
why exactly is that? Are you finding out exactly why the DSS is holding on to those records?
No, we keep on reminding them, and we don't know why. But formal notification to that effect, communication has been established, has been sent across to them by Professor Michael Zeko Medley Council. So, and we're expecting compliance anymore from them, because today I also reminded them about the necessity to comply with this directive of the court judgment. So, and also the need for him to take further steps, which I may not be able to make public at this platform. So, but we are believing at least substantially they will comply, and we're taking further steps to ensure that they also allow him access to the second person, which will happen anymore from now. So, but because we had an issue with them before now, this was an order made by court sometime in 2021, and they refused to obey it because court said he must have access to 3 persons at a go, which include his medical doctor. So, and his medical doctor came sometime in October 2021 to see him, and 22 to see him, and they refused him access, Dr. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, before he traveled. So, and portion to which we now went to court to seek for order of commandamus, and of course the court granted us leave to proceed, and afterwards a judgment was delivered in an application duly moved by our lead counsel, Professor Michael Zeko Medley. So, and on 20th of July 2023, the judgment was delivered, and that has been served on the SSS, expecting that, and they before then they've started making arrangement to comply, but immediately the court judgment was served on them, they complied. So, and we're expecting full compliance as time progresses. So, but it's important for me to correct, using this platform to correct, because
yes, go ahead.
Because there are a lot of misinformation out there. that for us to let's correct this misinformation. Before now, hitherto, it's to be made clear that the criminal elements who has been hitherto enforcing the statute home in Southeast has no any form of affiliation with IPOB or Nnamdi Kanu, and they are not working for him. They are working for someone who goes to work on Mondays, and whose side he had with Finnish lady also goes to court on Monday, goes to school on Monday. But in Igbo land, the children of our children do not go to court on Monday.
You're reluctant to mention this name. Are you talking about Simon Ekpa?
I'm talking about, of course.
Okay, now on the heels of that, as we round off, in a few seconds, the current administration has vowed to keep to the rule of law. In case he gets released, obeying the court order, if Nnamdi Kanu gets released, how is it then going to go about pursuing his agenda of liberation of his region?
The fact is that remains that Nnamdi Kanu has to be engaged, and that step has not been taken by federal government.
Engaged in what sense?
I mean, in politically engaged in discussing actually what led to what he's doing, but it's still within his right and right of the global peace movement of IPOB to agitate for their right. It's a stand laws. It's a stand right as clearly provided and protected under the Constitution. So because it's a right to self-determination, which they've been exercising. So if federal government actually wants to engage them and discuss with them and find out what is happening, they have the right to do that. But since that inception of this movement, federal government has never put him fit to engage in Nnamdi Kanu. But what they are doing is to arrest him, put him in cell, get him out, make effort to kill him. Of course, they are aware of what happened on 2017 when they invaded his premises on 14 September, and when he was preparing to come to court on 11th of October that same year, and over 28% was killed in an attempt to kill him. So is that how to go about it?
Is there a chance that Nnamdi Kanu may be willing to, change from this, the desire to want a Biafra, the desire for a Biafra nation? Is he willing to
the Biafran,
step down on that?
The Biafra project is a divine project, and a project being operated within the ambits of law, and it's a non-violent project. So I don't think anybody will kill that idea whatsoever, but the modalities and other things can be ironed out and discussed with federal government. Right. So it's an idea that has come to stay. Thank you.
Ifeanyi Ejiofor is counsel to Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much for joining us.